Hi, Stitch.
Hi!
Welcome to the Pattern Queens episode 30. Today is Sunday, May 17th, 2020, and this is a channel about cross stitch.
And friendship and rambles and lots of shenanigans.
And oodles of silliness, too.
Oh, yes. Oodles and oodles.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Keisha.
And today would have been my father-in-law's, I want to say that my husband told me today would have been my father-in-law's birthday. And I think from what he said that he would have been 92.
Oh, wow.
And on Friday, it would have been my dad's 102nd birthday.
Wow.
So, kind of an interesting time. So we get Mother's Day and then 2 dad birthdays and miss a lot.
Yeah, in just a few days, my youngest niece will turn 2.
Wow.
So that's exciting.
That is exciting. So today will be all about mid-mania stuff for us.
Yes.
And we have both been stitching crazily.
Right, and actually sticking to our plan, which is a first for me anyway.
I think that your suggestion of coordinating our mania has made this way more fun for me.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, I've been having a good time too.
So I feel like I'm more motivated and I'm like, well, Keisha's doing this too.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not doing the same thing, you're doing something similar.
Right.
So that's been fun.
Yeah, it really has been.
So, I skipped right over things. So welcome to our video.
Yes, thank you for being here.
We definitely ramble a lot and we go off on little squirrel jaunts and
yes, that's just us. That's just the way we are.
that is. This week I think part of why I've been so prolific with both my sewing work for Love You More and my stitching is because I have been watching Flosstube. Now, I have watched all of these people, and let me get up here. All of these people.
Wow.
I started at the top and I have watched, and if I needed to, then I caught up with people. Two Martini Stitcher is on here, and she is so fun. She's doing her one regular floss tube every week, but every day she's doing a vlog style where she just shows you what she worked on the day before, and she spins her tiny decisions wheel to choose her project for that day. And so you get to see progress every day, and they're like really short videos. So you can watch those and get in, and it's quick. So fun. And I've really enjoyed catching up with people. So
that's fun. I've only watched 2 Flosstubers this week. I've watched both of Michelle Bendy's, her Stitch With Me, and then the one that she put up yesterday. And then I watched Garrett the Coffee Stitcher last Sunday. And those are usually the 2 that I really keep up with. And then my husband, they're toward the end of the fiscal year at his work, so he's had to use up some of his vacation days. So he was off a little bit this week, and so we watched a lot of old seasons of MasterChef on Hulu. So
that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what we've been doing.
I really caught up with Crafty Cat Stitcher. Kathy is one of my very favorite people to watch. She's just so pleasant. I mean, everything about watching her videos for me just draws me in, and she's calming and she's so positive. It's like the best little vitamin C shot that, you can get. So I really loved it. So that was cute. Hey, do you have any new stash this week?
I do, and you know that I have new stash because you were the one who bought it for me.
If I think about that, yeah.
So, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but this week I am starting on Quilting Bee from the Blue Flower. And when I put in my big 1, 2, 3 stitch order, they didn't have any of the gentle arts that I needed at all. So Laura and Katie went shopping sometime this week, and Laura's like, "You need those flosses?" And I was like, "You know I do." So I have a whole bunch of gentle arts flosses. And that's my stash.
All but one.
Right.
I was amazed. All but one of them were in.
Yeah. And then you got me a DMC that I needed for Light from Barbara Anna. So that's my stash this week.
Cool. And yours just slid right off the bed.
Yep, I heard it.
I'll start kind of from the end of my stash. So I needed some DMC variegated floss for my Satsuma Street that I've already started, the Primavera. And I have not been able to find it all in one place, and I need 2 skeins of one, and it's just been a little frustrating. And I found this whole box at Joann's, and it has all of the variegated colors in here. Now, and here's what I'm finding out. The variegateds, they're going to stop making them. So it's, I thought, Katie and I talked, and I said, we decided that I would just go ahead and get them. But I pulled out my floss ring here. So here are the 3 that I needed. I needed this one, and this one, that brownish one, and this one, which is the border. This is the one I needed 2 of. Did you notice as I flipped through that every single one of those had 2 in it? The box came with 2 skeins each.
Oh, nice.
I was so excited because, you pay for a whole box to get 3 colors, and it was really nice that it was really, it had what I needed.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'm going to do Katie's stash next from CC's. It's still in the bag here. Okay, so she got, I think that's all now. She got the new Gentle Arts colors, Witching Hour and Glass Slipper. And I think you guys have probably all seen these. They're really pretty. And can you turn the up light on? And then she got the new Weeks colors, which are Blue Suede, Lily Pad, Lavender, Yukon Gold, Banana Pudding, and Arrowhead. And they are a really pretty set of colors. Can you see all?
Yes.
So really cool. That blue is so pretty. Really, really nice colors. And then Kate has been wanting a piece of this Nikki's Creation 28 count Vichy, which is the check. And so she got a big piece of that. It's 20 by 20, so a nice big square. And then we get to the charts. I know you guys are all here for the charts, right?
Yes. Well, I like looking at floss too, so maybe everyone else does.
So I think this one is just called Prairie. Well, no, Sampler Primitif, but it says Style Prairie from Marjorie Massey. We're getting way, way interested in Marjorie Massey. Look at that.
That's so pretty.
I just think that's cool. And then Blackbird Designs re-released some things. Katie found them, picked them all up. So we have summer, autumn, and winter. These 3 leaflets. And when you're finished, you can do the big ones. They have smaller ones on them too, but you can put the 3 big ones together.
Wow.
That's really cool. And this is the one that has this funky bird. Just cracks me up. So there are some really cool things with that. Katie was on a Blackbird tangent here trying to find things. And I'm trying to just get things rearranged in here. I'm in her little space again, so it's a little difficult sometimes to, oh, get out of there. It's a little difficult sometimes to get it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to slide these back in as I go. That'll be better. So then the next one that she has is The Long and Winding Road.
Oh, I like that.
Really pretty. It's part of the Beatles series, part of the Magical Mystery Tour. There were 6 patterns in this series. So I don't know what she still has to get out of that. Then Crazy Girl got 3 books. She bought Ooh La La, which has all sorts of cool patterns. Here, I'll show you the back. So it's these 2. And there are more patterns than that, but at least those are highlighted and just a fun book. Then she got The Bells on Christmas Day. I think you guys probably know about this one. It has the great big sampler shown on the back.
Wow.
I'm thinking is a nice companion for, oh, the one that I have. Oh, I can't think of it now. It's in the other book. I think it's the companion piece to... Why am I not seeing it? To Christmas Garden, this one. But both of these books, so this one is in Home for the Holidays. And this, yes, has the big cardinal. I've already stitched him. He's gorgeous. He's fabulous. But both of those books have beautiful, beautiful Christmas patterns in them. And then she also got this little book, In Friendship's Way, which has some sweet things in it. And I kept looking at it and going, that looks really familiar. Well, yeah, I already own this book because I bought it for this button box. And I have a picture stored on my phone of how they did theirs because it was just so pretty. The old mill, when they were still open, is who I got mine from. So that was Katie's stash. Now, see, Katie got all that. I did get a bunch of floss for Light and for, the one I'm starting tomorrow, the Jeanette Douglas pattern. I still need to look at my pieces for later in the week and see if I need to make another trip. But I also have this one from Heartstring Samplery that just called to me. And it's called Poppy May Russell. It's a sampler. You're just going to crack up because it's a sampler. And it was released in July of 2010. But look at that. I really, really like it.
Wow, yeah, that's cute.
It's 306 by 100. So obviously it's a little deceptive.
Right.
But that is my stash. So I can still drop that there. That's what I have for stash.
Awesome.
That's enough, right?
Yeah, that's quite a bit of goodies this week.
I like to show Katie's because she's just getting back into stitching after being out of it for 10 years. And it's fun to me to see what kinds of things she's drawn to.
Right.
So how about whips?
All right. Well, whips, I started my week off. We kind of talked about this in the last video. We both started Let Joy Be Unconfined from the Blue Flower. And here's just kind of a picture of it. Try not to get too much glare from my window. Just this really sweet freebie from the Blue Flower. And I was so excited to work on this.
Me too. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna show mine after you show yours, and then we'll have them together too.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm stitching mine with the called for Dinky dies, and I'm stitching it on 28 count fern from Color and Cotton. And this is where I ended up.
That is so pretty.
I love it. I had such a good time with it.
Mine is stitched on 32 count tutu from Color and Cotton. And I pulled my Dinky dies and I had exactly one of the colors she called for. And I haven't used it yet. You're supposed to do the lettering in that pretty teal like Keisha used because you got the called for colors.
Yes.
I did not have a good teal in my Dinky dies. So I, of course, chose to use purple. And this is how far I got.
Wow.
So none of the fun flowers like you. I just did all of the lettering. I had to do this one little stem and leaves so that I could make sure that I got the lettering in the right place.
Right.
And it's got a big old wrinkle right in the middle. That's a little better. But that's mine.
Wow, that's great progress.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back to these. I feel like I'm really glad that we have allowed more than one day for each piece.
Oh, for sure.
But also I'm excited about our projects and I'm ready to stitch more on them.
Yes, yes. And so then the next thing, this week was kind of a sampler week for us.
Yes.
And so I worked on the only sampler that I really have in my stash, which is Aberlowney 1825 from Erica Michaels. And I just love this. I love this one so much.
It did not focus on my side. I don't know if you...
Well, I don't know.
Is it looking focused on your side?
It is, but okay. This is kind of hard to see even on the piece of paper.
It is. Maybe... And your project is so much prettier than the pattern shows.
Well, and this was one that I bought at CC's during a trunk show. So that picture probably wouldn't have sold me on this pattern, but seeing it in person really did. And my colors are slightly different than what's called for. It calls for a bunch of NPI, but there is a conversion for just cotton overdyes. But I am stitching this with the great Michelle Bendy. And she was like, I'm just going to go home and I'll look at the things that I have in my stash and I'll just do a color conversion for us. So she did, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful. So here's my piece right now. I did this week, I had all of the letters in already. I did this top band of flowers up here.
So pretty.
And then this band here of white. And then this band here. And then I taught myself how to do eyelets.
And you did a fine job. They look gorgeous.
Thank you. So those are my eyelets. And the funny thing about the eyelets, so Erica Michaels has just like a great write-up about this piece and really, really good instructions and diagrams. And she said that the eyelets on the original piece that she reproduced were very irregular, different shapes and sizes. And so she did her best to kind of chart it so that it would fit the piece, fit across, but she still had to do some of varying widths. So there are some that are like only 3 linen strands across. There are some that are only 4. Some of them are 5. So you really had to pay attention.
That's so funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because those little girls, they just didn't always do their thing.
Right.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, the thing that makes me laugh about this Abra sampler is it seems very precise, but there are just a lot of things that are a little bit off. And I just love that. Some things you move over 3 threads instead of the regular 2 threads on linen to stitch. Some things are like, that's probably not the color you wanted to use there. And some things, the letters are just kind of lined up a little bit weird. It's a lot of fun. I really like it. Though I will say, if you want to stitch this one and you're mostly an Ada stitcher, I'd give linen a go for this one because there are so many things that are on the wrong thread and a lot of things that are stitched over one. So if you want to stitch this, might give linen a try if you're predominantly an Ada stitcher.
Okay, and for your eyelet stitches, you didn't just start on your sampler, right?
No. So since I had never done eyelets before, I just picked a scrap of fabric that I had and I practiced a couple of times because I was afraid that I was going to mess up on them, and I had already spent so much time on this. I didn't want to like accidentally destroy my fabric trying to put them in and take them out. So yeah, if you're trying a new stitch, just practice it on something else first until you feel comfortable and then dive in on your big piece.
And if you've left big borders, you can go out and just do it along the edge to practice, which is kind of fun if you leave that fabric on when you frame it, because then those will always be there, your practice stitches. But it's a good idea to go practice first.
Yeah, and definitely, like, I was super intimidated by this piece, and I'm still a little bit intimidated because there are other kinds of stitches that I've never tried before because I haven't done very many specialty stitches. And but like, if there's something that scares you, a pattern that scares you, but you love it, just buy it. Just try it. It's just cross stitch. It's not that deep. You can do it.
You can Google almost anything, and also so you can get pictures, but you can also see video of almost every stitch out there.
Right. So just do it. Get the thing that scares you. Specialty stitches scared me. I know huge full coverage pieces scare some people. Just get it. Just try. If you really love it, it'll be worth it.
Okay, so when you did that, I worked on Jane Marshall 1857, which is the fundraiser for the Australian Fire Brigade. And oh my gosh, I love this one. So it's in my Love You More Studio Co bag. I love this one. It's called Country Road Mercantile. I think we still maybe have a couple of the standards left in this one. And the inside of this is like the fun part too.
Wow.
Honeycomb. But my start on this is small, but I got the whole sampler outline, so it's only going to be this big. And I got a couple of the dividing bands and some of the lettering. Now that lettering at the top is going to be real pale, but I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
And I'm stitching this on my Northern Light, thank you, on my Northern Light 35 count linen that I got. And this row is not finished, this wavy one, but I already had the red out from here, so I just moved down and did that one too.
Wow, nice. You hadn't shown me a picture of that yet. I was really excited to see where you got to on it.
Let's see, we worked on that through Friday, so I think I got a little more in after we did Hawk Run Hollow. Right.
So Hawk Run Hollow Thursday. A very natural transition that was. So I'm working on the 5th block of Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. So it's this one here. And Laura pointed out it's basically a sampler block because it has all the alphabet and it's kind of arranged as ornaments on the tree. I really like this block, especially after several blocks of pretty solid stitching.
Yep, I was going to say, and finally you have a block that is maybe not solid.
I have a block that looks like maybe I could finish it this month, but I don't know. Anyway, this is my progress. I put in these 2 crowns down here and all of these letters.
So pretty.
Thank you. So yeah, that's where I got on that.
That's awesome. Okay, mine is in my bag from Judy. What's Judy's group called? Judy's Project Bags and More?
Yes.
I think that's right. On Facebook, and you can request to join that group. This is what the inside looks like. I love this fabric, and I don't know why, but it just made me think that was the Hawk Run Hollow thing. So my Hawk Run Hollow this month is like my favorite block. It's this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not gotten to the fun stuff yet, but I stayed up late. I was really pushing. And oh, I got to get the loose. I have a thread loose in the window from last month because I haven't finished that yet. But I got the whole fence done. Well, no, there are little stitches in between, but I got all of this part finished.
Wow.
Flowers. So that was a lot, and it was all fill in this week. And I worked to get that done.
Yeah.
I don't think I counted that. I was trying to decide. I know I did one, two. I did about 14 rows on each of those fence parts to finish it this week. And it's now part of it, I had already done the lettering, so I didn't have that, but they are on average 11 stitches per section.
Oh gosh.
And I did all of the letters and then one of the end pieces. I already had one of them finished. So that's a lot of stitches. I would say I did over 1,000 stitches on Thursday.
Wow.
So that was a lot. But I'm happy. Definitely. And now I get to do the little house and the bees and the big flowers.
Yeah, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we worked on this week, which we both started yesterday, is Light from Barbara Anna.
Love this one.
I love it. I love it so much. So mine is still in the hoop because we're working on it again today. But this is where I've started on, this is like kind of the top of the fox's dress and the arms and stuff. And this is just on 32 count navy Belfast. I think it's just a Witchelt. I had originally bought this for a different project, but I just thought that this would be really cool on it. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to go back and work on it some more after we're done filming today.
Me too. I'm not going to get as much time because I am going to do some stash cleanup today. So
fun. Yeah, I did a bunch of stash organizing the other day.
So I've put this one in my Honey Crisp from Love You More. And we're trying out new labels. So now they're on the back and they look like this. They're teeny tiny.
Oh, fun.
And the inside so this one has little touches of gold, and inside are green leaves, really pretty green leaves with the same gold detail on them. Real light. This is now only available in standard also because I decided that it's been sitting there this long and I was going to take one. But mine, what is mine called? This is a lovely green linen. It's 28 count. Oh, I should have kept this up here and I messaged Keisha last night and I said, this feels huge because doing all of the 35 and 36 count, and to suddenly go back to this is just fun. But this is what I got done.
Oh, wow. You got a lot done after I went to bed.
Yes. Well, I told you I wanted to get to the blue, and I didn't get to the blue because I put in that fox's head because I wanted to see how the orange looked on this green, and I really love it. I think this is called Laurel.
Okay.
And the dress is supposed to be, maybe I'll just pop these out real quick. The dress is supposed to be a nice rich brown, and it's one of the newer ones because it's number 9. But when I saw, so this is what it would look like. Maybe I'll fold this and then it'll show better. This is what it would look like, and I'm still going to need it for some of the other parts of the pattern. But when I saw it, I thought that it was blue. I thought that the fox's dress was blue. And we just got this color and cotton dark indigo from the Show Me retreat, and I am in love with this.
Yes.
So that's what the dress is going to be for me.
That's going to look so good.
It's just, thank you. It's fun. You know, I love this thing so much that I would not normally change this up, but seriously, I saw it as blue when I looked at it, and I still feel like the up around the fox's neck and the sleeves, I feel like the thing around the neck looks kind of like a mink. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's going to be so good.
Yeah, and we'll see what I get done today, and I can't wait to see what your oranges look like on the fox.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. The oranges look pretty good with that navy, so.
And here's the other funny thing. I started right in the center. Can you see my whole fabric now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I started right in the center, and I'm like, uh-oh, did I screw up? Because look where this is, and this seems like this should be the big part of the piece. Oh no, the fox has a big butt back there.
Right.
And a big
Yes.
bunch of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
But it did freak me out for just a moment when I looked at it this morning.
Right.
No.
Mine's freaking me out a little bit too, because like I said, I didn't buy this piece of fabric for this project. So I'm going to have pretty small margins anyway, and I'm just getting closer and closer to the edge of my hoop, and I'm like, if I have room over here, and I'm totally going to have room. I'm just not going to have much on the outside of it, but that's okay.
So those were our whips this week. See, it's fun to have them coordinated because then we go back and forth and see them all together. So
right.
Plans for next week.
Plans.
Tomorrow I am starting. Let me get the picture a little bigger. Be Well from Jeanette Douglas.
Oh, that's such a sweet one.
Thank you. I bought all of the overdyes for it. I'm pretty excited about that. And it includes one of the new overdyes. It includes Lily Pad.
Oh, fun.
So what are you starting tomorrow?
I am starting Be Welcome from the Black Needle Society. I'm very excited about starting this. But I'm doing something a little bit crazy. So I really, really like this. And this is actually stitched in a more primitive colorway, which was exclusive to the Show Me retreat. But Katie is also doing a bright conversion. And from what I've seen of the bright conversion, I really, really like that. So, of course, I'm split. Do I do the exclusive one from the retreat, or do I pester Katie until she tells me what the colors are for the bright one? And Laura's like, well, you could just do both. And I was like, well, I could just do both. And I have, and I left it in the other room, but I have a piece of color and cotton. I think it's called Hickory, and it's just a really nice, cool toned light brown that I think is going to look really good with this and will probably look really good with a bright conversion. Would 2 of these fit on that piece? No, 2 of these would not fit on that piece unless I stitch them over one. So I'm going to stitch this twice over one on the same fabric. It might take a while for that to be done.
You are the over one queen lately.
Maynia is like half over one and half stitches I've never done before.
You're really stretching yourself.
Right. And so anyway.
And my stretches that I'm stitching from my device. So.
Right. So anyway, I told Katie, I was like, yeah, I'm stitching this twice on the same piece of fabric over one. So maybe I'm the first official Black Needle Society fangirl who's doing something like that.
So on Wednesday, we are going to start Bee from the Blue Flower. Quilting Bee, right?
Quilting. Yes.
I did not bring my pattern and stuff in.
I brought it.
Love this.
I'll show you the back because that kind of shows more what the actual pattern is.
Yeah, because the other stuff is just cool finishing that they did.
Right. I mean, how cool is that mat around there? That's so good. But yeah, anyway, we're starting this.
I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
I have really pretty 40 count fabric that is all of the colors that are in the mat that they used on the front.
Oh, cool.
I mean, they're washed out colors, but they are all shades of that.
I need to play around, but I think I might put this on last month's Color and Cotton piece that I got, which was moss, which is like a nice deep kind of green. Oh. I think that will look good on it. But I have to play around and make sure that actually works.
And now you have floss to do that.
Yes, perfect. Not just flying blind.
Yeah. And then Thursday we are doing our Hawk Run Hollow. Right. And Friday I'm going to start Forest from Satsuma Street. And I'm showing you things like this because I haven't chosen materials yet. So it's that one. I'm really excited about that.
That is exciting. And so to go with Laura, I'm actually working on a whip, and I should have brought that in here with me, but I didn't.
I thought it was back behind you. I thought I saw it earlier.
No, there's just a lot of stuff back there.
Oh.
This is In the Forest from Stitcherovia, and this is a piece that I'm doing as a memorial piece for my grandpa. And I have pretty much, I've done the mountains back there and I've done these trees. So I have a lot of grass fill in and then the right side of the pattern to do. So who knows? Maybe if I really buckle down, I can get close to a finish on that. But no promises.
That will be awesome. And I'm only going to get one day on that, on my forest, because on Sunday the 24th, so next Sunday when we film, I will be starting Joy, which is an ornament from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament magazine from years ago. And the one I'm doing is from June Griggs Designs, and I've teased my friend Deanna relentlessly about the fact that she stitched it and did not gift it to me. So she's finally convinced me that I'm doing it myself.
Nice.
So, and I don't think you're starting anything on, well, or are you starting a Christmas thing on the 24th?
No, I don't think I will. I actually go back into the office this week. So my stitching time will be a little bit more limited. I mean, I've been working from home, but there's only so much you can do from home. So I think I might just spend that whole weekend just concentrating on this piece, especially if I can get it pretty close to a finish.
Yeah. I wanted to show you guys one more thing in the way of plans. And I don't know, this may be in June. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a wild hair and start it this week. But you remember Katie and Brendan got me this great book from Stitcherovia, Emma Congdon. And I sat down one evening and just really, really looked through. And I've decided this is the first one I'm going to do.
Oh, wow. That'll be so good.
So it says, when it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. And I just was really drawn to it.
Yeah.
So that is the one that I will start first out of there. And in other plans, do you want to talk about it?
Well, we are thinking that next week we are going to do a special collaboration set of videos with some of our Missouri Flosstube friends. And we're really excited about doing that. I don't know if you want to talk about the concept a little bit because you found it on a Flosstube that you were watching.
Right. So I watched Brenda and the Serial Starter, who is Laura, so same name, you know, we're both a little nutty. And they did a segment called On a Desert Island. And the basic premise is if you were trapped on a desert island and you could stitch anything from your stash. It doesn't have to be kitted up right now. We're assuming that it would magically be kitted up when you got there. What would you stitch? So that's why I'm going to be doing kind of a stash cleanup today, because I have some things in mind and we have to kind of figure it out. So
Right.
we're still ironing out some details to see if we can get this to work, and figuring out timing. At this point, well, I'm not going to say who it is yet because I want to make sure that we all are able to do it.
Right, but we do. It's a few of our friends who have floss tubes from across the state, and so we're really excited about that, and we're hoping to do different parts, so that we can put them on all of our channels. So maybe you can discover some new floss tubers, or just go visit their channels, even if they're already some of your favorite floss tubers. So we're really excited about doing that collaboration. So look for that. We'll talk a little bit more about it in our video next week to let you know where to find those videos. But that's something that's coming down the road.
So if you have us on the auto, is it just auto that it says? Then you will get a notifications button turned on. Then you would get a notification when we put our segment of it up. And it'll have a number like 1, 2, 3, whatever, in there. So you might, if you want to see them all in order, you'll have to figure out who does what. We haven't decided who's which part. And we're going to be playing with Skype to see if we can get us all on the video at the same time. So that will be fun too.
Yeah. So exciting things. Look for that hopefully next week.
Yep. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching us.
Yes. Thank you for your comments.
Oh,
and everything.
yes.
Oh man, we've been having a whole lot of fun with people in the comment section telling us what they're working on and talking about different color conversions they've found for the things that we're working on. We had someone last week comment that there was like they did a full color and cotton conversion for light, and that just sounds fantastic.
Yes, and I was going to comment on that too. That's Robert Rafuse.
Yeah.
And Robert, I can't find you. I need your help. I need you to come back, and because I don't know if you've used the same picture on different platforms, but I'm not finding you. So please, please, please come back and add your Instagram, your Facebook, so that I can find you and check out yours, because here is the deal. This one says, I just finished Light by Barbara Ann and myself on a beautiful teal fabric and used color and cotton for her dress. Sedona, cardamom, and caramel brownie. Doesn't that sound gorgeous?
Sounds like a very tasty dress.
So yeah, I just thought it was really going to be fun. So, and Lynette Davies, I saw hers really late. She said she was hoping to join us with the Let Joy Be Unconfined, but she didn't have any of the Dinky dies and wondered if there was a conversion. So all I did was go out to Google and type in Dinky dies to DMC conversion, and a few things popped up, and I chose one that I thought was would have most of them, although it did say solid Dinky dies, which I think most of these are, right?
Well, like the teal for the words is very variegated because it kind of goes from teal to green. But I mean, I'm sure that there is an overdyed cotton, and I think I saw a conversion out there that was a Dinky dyes to Gentle Arts. Whenever I did a quick Google on it. But if you are willing to stitch Let Joy Be Unconfined with us, you don't necessarily have to use anything variegated. There's not a whole lot of shading or anything like that in this pattern. So really, if you just picked some of your favorite pretty colors for the flowers and some greens and your favorite color for the words, I'm sure it would be beautiful. Yeah. You can really do whatever you want.
I told Lynette that both you and I have done a floss toss and we posted it on Instagram. So if she
Mhm.
wanted to go look us up there, she could see the fabric that we each chose and the colors that we're using. And then, sometimes I feel like I was so glad when you sent me yours because I was like, oh, okay, well, this is what Keisha's looks like. So now I can choose this kind of a color. And I did substitute in my orange was not a good orange for it. So Katie and I played and we figured out what would look good, and I think mine's a little more red. So
Right. Well, and you had a different color fabric too. So I'm sure where an orange would look kind of nice on my green, an orange might look not great on your light pink.
yes,
So, but
yes.
yeah, I mean, this is definitely a pattern where you can just kind of sub in your favorite colors.
Hmm.
Because I mean, flowers can be whatever color you want flowers to be.
And dinky dyes are expensive, but
Mm-hmm.
you get a lot of floss and they are lovely.
They're very nice to stitch with, but it was definitely a splurge whenever I bought them. Like I wouldn't usually. I would be looking for a conversion too. I
Yeah,
really just bought them this time because I love this pattern so much, and I've never worked with silks before, so I kind of wanted to do that.
but I mean, it is pricey when you're talking about because there are only how many colors? Like no more than about eight.
Right. But I
And
mean, like $4,
yeah,
at least, um, for a thing of floss, especially whenever you've never worked with silks before and you don't have a stash to pull from.
right.
It gets really expensive. I mean, even some of the patterns that call for a lot of overdyed cotton floss, if you don't have a big stash built up of that, those patterns can be so expensive to even just try to kit up.
The one that I'm starting, so I know that I put all of the dinky dyes in my 1, 2, 3 stitch cart, and it
Mhm.
was over $50 for those flosses.
Yeah, it was really, like I said, that's not something that I'd usually do. It was kind of a treat myself sort of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to start off and start building a
Mhm.
stash, then that's an okay way to get started too. Floss of the Month clubs are great. The Jeanette Douglas that I'm getting ready to start has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has 12 different overdyed colors. They're cotton, but
Wow.
they're overdyed. So I had to get a Classic Colorworks, a Gentle Arts, and some Weeks Dye Works, and that's just for that. So imagine,
Right. Well, and if you're thinking, 12 at 250 a piece, if you don't have a stash, that could cost you $30 just in floss.
yes.
You know. So
So
definitely, I mean, if you Google floss conversions, there are all kinds out there. And you might not get exactly the same look because some of the overdyes have, some variegation to them. But, they're do it in DMC. Do your own
yeah.
conversion.
And
Uh,
there are a couple things you can do, like that has a great big basket.
mhm.
So maybe I would look and choose a couple of colors of brown from my DMC stuff, and I would take a strand of each. If I'm doing it on a big enough count to use 2 strands, I would take a strand of each and put them together and go for kind of a tweeted look. Or if I'm doing it with 1 strand, then I would do all of my stitches in one direction in one color, and then I would do the top leg. So I do the bottom leg in one color and the top leg in another. And that'll give you a little bit of that feel too. And every once in a while, just for kicks, throw in a solid stitch
Right.
in either
That's a
color.
good tip.
So that's a way to get a little more of that feel of the movement, which is what I think overdyes give you. Is more it's more like a fluid movement thing, kind of like if you were doing shading, Katie's
Mhm.
sitting up here drawing, and if you were doing shading, then that's kind of the effect maybe that you can help produce that.
Right. So don't feel like you can't stitch some of these beautiful pieces just because you don't have a big stash of over dyed flosses.
Hmm.
Just kind of play, look up conversions, ask your stitching friends or ask in stitching groups
Yes.
on Facebook, or ask on Instagram. definitely. I mean, cross stitches for everyone.
And I saw somebody, one of the people I watched this week was talking about they had done a conversion and they didn't like their conversion. Well, what I noticed was that the overdyed flosses that they chose were very stripy because they did everything horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
And a way to change that up and get away from the stripy feeling is to change the direction that you're stitching. So, like if I'm doing a sheep or if I'm doing a skirt, I may outline it and then just keep going around and around in circles. Now, you use more floss and it has a little bit of a different texture. You have to be careful that you are not. I stitch in hand, so I have to be careful that I'm not pulling too much or it will pucker it. But
Mm-hmm.
like if you're stitching on a hoop or a frame of some kind, you're not going to have that problem. But that's one way you could do it. You can do some up and down. You can do things on the diagonal. And it'll all change how it looks so that you don't get the whole piece is just striped.
Right. Right. So just play with things. Play with things. I've learned a lot of these sorts of things just by watching Flosstube and listening to how
Yeah.
people stitch, um, and looking things up, just on the internet. That's kind of my biggest resource. And
Yeah.
then friends too. You'll see friends who stitch things a certain way and you're like, well, I like that. I'm going to try to do it that way.
I have one more thing, and I know we're getting a little long here. I have one more thing I want to talk about, and I am going to get to the right place real quick. So, are you on the nice list?
Half the time.
So, the Black Needle Society, which is Katie and I, we are going to do an advent countdown box where you can choose to get either 12 days of gifts or 25 days of gifts. And this is the graphic Katie made. If you're following at the Black Needle Society, you will get all these updates. We are going to do some vendor reveals, and oh my gosh, you guys, the vendors, we are so excited about it. And we have more people to contact, but we have the big four ready to go. And we are going to reveal them. So we just announced the box yesterday. So tomorrow we'll do a vendor reveal, then Wednesday, then Friday, then Sunday. So those 4 vendor reveals. And then on next Monday, on Memorial Day, we will be releasing the box. So you can go ahead and purchase it. We're working out maybe a way to make it work a little easier for the big box. The 12-day box, it won't be the first 12 days. You'll get it to start on day 13, and your box will run the 13th through the 24th. And the box has over $150 worth of goodies in it, both stitching and pampering. And that box will be on sale for $85 for the pre-orders. And then the full 25-day box, which has a huge surprise on the 25th day, and they've asked us to limit it to 50 boxes just because of the handmade nature of the item. And it's kind of a hard to get item. And you saw Keisha smile because she knows who that is. But
Yes.
that box has over $300 worth of goodies in it. And we will be putting that box on sale for pre-orders for $185. And when they're gone, they're gone. Because we cannot go back to day 25 and say, the day 25 vendor and say, oh, can you just make 10 more? No, this is it. This is
Right.
it. So,
And I'll tell you, I know that big vendor, and it's an exciting one, everyone. Like it's someone who, even if it wasn't in this box, it's kind of hard to get.
yes.
Um, and then I know one of the other vendors, and that vendor is one of my very favorite people in the whole entire world. So, well, and I guess I probably know someone else who's maybe designing something for the box. Who's another one of my very favorite people in the whole entire world. So
yeah, it'll be kind of cool. And we're really excited about it. I don't know that Katie wants me to say a whole lot more than that. Do you want me to tell about the 12-day box? So we said this, Katie and I did, it's on our, you know what, I'll just say this. It's on our Instagram TV. And if you go look at the Black Needle Society, you can check out, so the Instagram TV is a little bit different. You should be able to see that. It's saved. And if you click that, Katie and I did a whole thing yesterday, a whole big story yesterday, and uploaded it so that you can get some information about the box. But we will, like I said, we'll have a reveal tomorrow. And I think we were trying to decide who we were revealing. The big one, the day 25 will be next Sunday. That's set. But the other three, we're so excited equally about all of them that I think we're going to put them on a tiny decisions wheel, and we're going to spin. We're not going to show you guys, but we're going to spin, and whichever one it lands on, that's who we're revealing that day.
Nice.
So, so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's new. And if you are, so a little bit in Love You More, if you're a Beatles fan, or if you like Winnie the Pooh, then next week,
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, this coming Friday might be for you. Oh, and you have a choice with the Winnie the Pooh. So anyway, that will be releasing on Friday. And then the next Friday, we're doing, Katie and I love Austen, and we have found some lovely Jane Austen inspired fabrics and a few other really cool things to go in with that week. So we have some fun weeks. We've been branching out a little with our fabric buying being mostly from home. We've ended up with some really fun themes. So, but that's my business talk, and I saved it till the end.
I have no new business.
I'm sure you do. You have new business going on every day.
That's true. And I also had to get a tetanus shot on Friday, and so my arm hurts a little bit. I touched it earlier when you were talking. I was like, oh, no, don't touch there.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I think it is time for us to sign off this week, and I hope you guys are all staying safe and getting lots of stitching time in.
Yes, I hope so.
And if you are going back to work like Keisha, I know that is an anxious time. And do you have any tips? Are you doing anything to prepare to go back?
Well, my doctor said to make sure that I wear a mask if I'm going to be close to people. Luckily, my workspace it's a pretty open area, but we're all pretty spread out. There aren't a whole lot of us. My doctor also said don't wear gloves, because if you wear gloves, you're going to spread, germs from one place to another place. And it also makes you not think so much about washing your hands. So my doctor said, don't wear gloves, just make sure you're washing your hands all the time. So.
Awesome. Okay. And with that, you guys, be safe.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good week.